Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing great. We have a very special guest from NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology today, Mr. Somil Mehta. And today's session will be on how an international student can go to NJIT with possible scholarship. So today's talk will be in English, as you can assume, since Mr. Mehta doesn't know Bengali. Today's session and tomorrow's session will be in English. And again, on Friday, we'll have a special session on specifically for civil engineers who want to get a scholarship and admission in the US. And on Saturday, we have a very special guest, and I'll make an announcement later on about that in a separate post. So once again, let's welcome Mr. Somil Mehta from NJIT, who is currently working as the Assistant Director of International Recruitment, University Admissions. So welcome, Mr. Mehta. Somil, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me join today.
Awesome. So this is actually 10 p.m. in Bangladesh. It's a little over 12. It's noon in the US Eastern Time. So our audience are from Bangladesh. So I know you have international students, and definitely you met Bangladeshi students as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for the purpose of the students, we'll go over with our normal course of discussion. You have your PowerPoint presentation to talk about your institute, and gradually we'll keep receiving the question from the audience and go to the question answer session at the later part. All right. So welcome again, and everybody, let's welcome Mr. Somil Mehta.
Wonderful. Thank you again for the warm welcome. Once again, my name is Somil Mehta, Assistant Director of International Recruitment here at NJIT. Very excited to talk to you. Thank you for taking your nighttime to join us. I have been to Bangladesh. I've had the honor of going to Dhaka and meeting students. Very warm welcome. So I look forward to hopefully visiting again. But for now, I'm going to go through a PowerPoint, and then we can have some Q&A.
Awesome.
So some quick facts about NJIT. We were founded at 1881 as a Newark Technical School. We are a public research university located in Newark, New Jersey. We have over 125 degree programs, over 105 research centers and labs. Even as a mid-sized university, about 11,500 total students. Our student faculty ratio is great at 17:1. We're about 2,000 international students. So we have a large international student population for a mid-sized university. We are Division I sports. Some of our rankings: we are a top 100 national university in US News and World Report. We're very excited about having the highest research rating, R1, by Carnegie Classification. Being a public research university, this is highly great ranking that we received based on our faculty and student research that goes on and laboratory space. We are top 2% nationally for return on investment. Also, we are a top 50 public national university. We just got ranked number 3 in New Jersey in the QS News USA rankings so the third best in New Jersey. Some of our notable alumni: Walter Marty, 9th human to travel into space; Mr. John Mooney, the co-inventor of the three-way catalytic converter; Ms. Shukla Chandra, the managing director of GE Ventures in India; and Engl, where the NJIT's College of Computing, Engl College of Computing, was named after. He's one of the top 10 most influential people in China's economy.
Wow.
So we do have a lot of famous alumni doing very well. Location: as I mentioned, we are in Newark, New Jersey, the largest city in New Jersey. We are 20 minutes from New York City, so you can't get better than that. So you get the college campus atmosphere without paying the sticker price of being in the big city, but you're close to all those networking opportunities. But also on the East Coast, we are an hour and a half from Philadelphia. We are 4.5, 5 hours from Boston to the north, and 4.5, 5 hours from Washington, D.C. to the south.
This is like a 100% urban campus.
Correct. Yeah. So you get that experience, but you're not in the heart of the city. You're close to the big city. So we have very easy access, which I'll talk about later. As I mentioned, we have about 30,000 students in that University Heights area. As I mentioned, NJIT itself has about 11,500 students. So there are other universities in the area which comprise of the other 20,000 students. So it is really a college campus, college town atmosphere. We are 16 kilometers from New York City, as I mentioned. We have a light rail stop right on campus that takes you to the main train station, where you can access to other parts of Jersey and New York City. We are 8 kilometers from Newark International Airport, so it's very convenient for our students to arrive and to go travel if they wanted to. Sometimes students may find cheaper flights flying to JFK, but we like to tell them cost and time is a big factor. So the cost of getting from JFK to NJIT could be a lot, could be over $100 taxi ride, as well as time. It can take 2 or 3 hours to get from Manhattan through the tunnel into Jersey. So it's just easier after a long flight to come into Newark International.
Right.
Okay. So as I mentioned, the easy access to parts of New Jersey where students live if they don't live on campus, very easy access. So here at NJIT, we are comprised of various, we call it academic colleges, but for other, if you're used to different faculty departments, so to speak, that's what this would be. So we're all NJIT, but we have the management school, the College of Computing School, the J. Robert and Barbara Hillier College of Architecture and Design, Newark College of Engineering, College of Science and Liberal Arts, and at the undergrad level, the Honors College.
So the computer science, like engineering subjects, they belong to the School of Engineering. I'm sorry. If you don't mind, let's go to the previous slide.
Sure. So good question. So as far as computing, so I'll go through this later, but the Engl College of Computing will have the computer science programs, anything related to the computers. But the Newark College of Engineering would have all the engineering programs.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because most of the students, they're interested about the
either of those
engineering subjects.
Okay, great. So then maybe I can, for lack of time, for time, we can just skip over some of these other ones. Just to keep it there for a second, if you're interested in architecture. Some of the top employers for the architecture school. So if you're interested in the life sciences, we do offer those in the College of Science and Liberal Arts as well, at the undergrad level and the graduate level. I'm also excited to let you know we do have New Jersey's only bachelor's in forensic science and cyber psychology. So if you're interested in that, we do offer that.
Awesome.
Some of the top employers for College of Science grads. I mentioned this already. Most students, most people know about New York City being the financial hub, but if you didn't know, New Jersey is home to some of the top biotech and pharmaceutical companies.
Oh yeah.
Thus, the engineering, computers, life sciences, because those industries need all those skill sets, is very popular. Management school, I'll just say one thing here. The unique thing about our management school, because most schools have a management school, the unique thing is we go with the power of STEM, because all our programs are STEM focused. So even our management school is STEM focused. You have access to Bloomberg terminals. You get Salesforce certified. So employers grab our students, and most of them are making 6 digits coming out of undergrad because that's how the quality of the curriculum they have for the business school. Okay. Some of the top employers for the management school. Now, so the popular ones for the Newark College in Engineering. As you can see, we offer a wide range of undergraduate programs. Some of the popular ones being biomedical, chemical, civil, electrical. As you can see, we offer various other programs as well. So really, the unique thing about NJIT is you really come in, our students, why they come to NJIT is they come in and get really into the STEM courses, even the core classes that you're taking. So, there are some universities, several universities out there, let's say you have to come in and take core classes from outside your program, whether it be an arts course, psychology course, things like that. But here, you're coming in and you're really getting into that STEM focused course curriculum. For our graduate programs in the Newark College of Engineering, some of our popular ones being mechanical, biomedical, electrical, engineering management, just to name a few. We also offer the pharmaceutical engineerings as well. These are some of the top employers for the Newark College of Engineering graduates. Then we'll also talk about recently at NJIT celebrating 100 years of engineering. We also have New Jersey's largest makerspace. So our students love that because they can go in, think of projects, create ideas, and really get a lot of work done. The Engl College of Computing. These are undergrad programs, some of our popular ones being computer science, of course. Human-computer interaction, very unique program, and business information systems, to name a few. So a lot of our students just sometimes will just say, oh, I want to do computer science. But the good thing about our computing school is there's a wide range of computer science programs, right? So if you want to go into information systems, we have that as a full degree. You know, human-computer interaction, we have that as a full degree. So it's just not computer science.
We just received a question from Onyx Suraj, and he was asking, is data science available? So you already answered that question.
Right. So at the graduate level, yes. And it's one of our newest programs, meaning it's been going on for about 2 years now, I believe. And it's booming. A lot of our students now that we have that at the grad level, you know, computer science was always big. Now data science, as the need in companies for analytics is getting higher and higher, students are going into data science. We have 2 tracks, the statistics track, where they're looking for students with a math background, or the computer science track.
Right.
Here are some of the top employers of the Engl College of Computing grads. So for incoming freshmen, undergraduate freshmen, there's an honors college. So when you apply, I'll go through the application process in a bit, but we are on the common application for undergrad applicants. You would be asked a question, would you like to be considered for the honors college? Well, so you can be admitted to regular admission, but then you can be considered high achieving students, honors college. Really, to be honest, their average SAT is almost 1,500, almost a 4.0 type of thing that they're looking for. So they might have smaller class sizes. Honors college might have additional scholarship money, such things like that. The courses are all the same, but you might have personalized academic advising and things like that. It's separate on campus, honors residence housing if you choose to live on campus. Here are some of the top employers of honors graduates. All right, so as far as undergrad admission criteria, freshmen, we're looking for at least a 3.0, 4.0 scale, a B average, at least. So we are requiring the SATs. Just to give you an idea, the average last year was about a 1295. Excuse me. On the reading, writing, and the math sections combined.
You guys have any cutoff for SAT or just SAT?
So that's the average. So we do have merit-based scholarships. It is based on the SAT and the high school GPA.
Yeah.
So the 12 sort of the average that I mentioned, that's what students should aim for merit-based, scholarships. Of course, you can be admitted with less SAT scores, below 1,200, let's say, but then you might not qualify for any scholarship. But you can still get admitted for yes. So as far as
do you mind to enlighten us about the transfer, because a lot of students they
Sure.
have a common question, like I already got into a bachelor program in Bangladesh. I spent like a year or a couple of years. I have finished a lot of courses already.
Right.
So how about now if I transfer my credits to a US program like NJIT?
Right. So as far as that, so as you can see the criteria, the main thing is once they're if they're admitted, they would have to submit a WES evaluation or any of the NACES members. So it'd have to be that evaluation. Once the university, the academic department, everyone would have to review it to see which courses they might require. The academics might require the course curriculum from the university, from the student to get from the university to see if the courses match up. So only then would they be able to determine how many credits would be transferred in. Okay, so it won't be known at the time of it, admission. It'll be known afterwards, unfortunately, but that's how it works.
Yeah. Any approximate idea how many students you usually get like a transfer a year?
We do get we have a large transfer population. Of course, a lot from domestically, like international students, let's say studying at a bachelor's program in the US, but then once they transfer to us, we'll get that. Right. But slowly we are getting, more from overseas coming in, true international students coming from, their international universities and coming in. But yeah, that's how we would determine the courses, how many they would come in, if they're coming in at a second year or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. But as long as they've even taken one semester of college, they'd be considered transfers. Sometimes students say, "Oh, I only took one semester. Can I apply as a freshman?" No. The minute you've taken any college level course at a university, you'd be considered transfer. And transfer students are not considered for any merit scholarships. I'd like to note that too.
Yeah, that's an important point.
Yeah. So those that are interested in the graduate school, we do require the GRE scores, not subject test, but regular general. GMAT for the business programs, but we will look into the GREs if that's what's taken. TOEFL of 79 or IELTS of 6.5.
2020 because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
You still require GRE, or you?
So for this fall, we will consider on a case-by-case basis a waiver.
Okay.
So if a student is still interested in applying, submit your application, submit your transcripts, submit your TOEFL or IELTS, or we are taking the Duolingo. Submit either of those. We will evaluate, and if you qualify, basically based on your academics and your English test,
right.
Then we'll waive that. Yeah. Just for this fall, yes. But if you have poor grades or poor, it makes it a little tough for a case. And one letter of recommendation for masters and 3 for PhD. Statement of purpose for PhD students. Generally, GRE requirements, there's no set minimum. However, being a STEM-focused school, we are generally looking for a high quant score, so at least in the 150s, I would say. So here at NJIT, we are rolling admission. However, these are preferred deadlines. Especially, for this fall 2020, we are being flexible, so we are still taking applications for anyone who is still interested for this fall.
So these are for 2021, right?
Right. So I mean, these this is generally always right as far as the dates. Yeah. Right. But for this fall specifically, we have extended. So we are still this deadline is passed, obviously, but we are still taking applications.
Okay. Do you mind to mention about like if you're planning to take online fall students, like I heard from some people that they're planning to take the fall classes online, and from spring semester the students will be actually doing on-site. So you guys have taken any such decision, or
so that's in the final stages. We don't have a confirmed decision right now, but yes, once that's known, there is talks, and we will know all the options soon. As far as will there be an online option, will it be a mix of both, or whatnot? So in the coming weeks, hopefully in a couple of weeks, we should know that. Yeah, within a week or two.
Things are evolving so fast. I mean, a lot of things are still up and
down. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of channels it has to go through to figure things out.
Right.
So I don't think any university, at least we've never had to go through such things. So we had to get everything for the spring, the last of the spring, online.
Yeah.
But yes, that could be a possibility. So this is the I-20 amount. So once you're admitted, this is the amount you would have to show 55,829 as an undergrad or 54,687 for I-20 purposes only. I like to mention that because then sometimes students, what they'll do is, let's say graduate, they'll double that and think our program is over 100,000. That is not correct. This is just the I-20 amount. Yes, this is the tuition for taking 18 credits in a year. So on your student visa, you're required to take 9 credits a semester in the graduate level, 12 credits at the undergrad level for full-time status. We are a public university and tuition is based on credits, right? So each semester you'll pay based on the number of credits you're taking. So as far as
summer is not included in this, right?
No, this is just spring and fall.
Yeah.
So as far as graduate, to give you an idea, rough idea for those interested in graduate school, tuition and fees itself for the 2 years would be roughly around 54,000 or so, just tuition and fees. Okay, so it's not 66, it's about 54. But we like to break this down to show you what the I-20 amount will be. Also note, undergrad, as I mentioned, there is merit-based scholarship. So this, if you receive anything, it would be taken off of this. At the graduate level, all students are automatically considered for any funding. However, generally it's more to the PhD directly by the academic department in the form of assistantships. So generally it's for PhD students, but those decisions are made by the academic department. I will note if you're admitted, we are happy that now we have access, our students will get access to an outside database, Scholarship Universe, where they can search and apply for outside scholarships that they qualify. And we've already heard that some students have received some. So that is exciting. Now, this I'll point out too, on campus, as I mentioned, this is for I-20 purposes only. These are on-campus housing costs. Students are not required to live on campus. Generally, freshmen, we recommend that. So at the graduate level, most of our grad students live off campus, so this cost can be much less. So just to take that note as well. But since we don't know where all the students are going to choose to live, they have to show that amount.
Yeah, one thing I want to just mention for the audience. So
sure.
The information Mr. Mehta is providing here, these are holistic information. Like for graduate specific assistantship, the best idea would be getting the information directly from the department. A lot of students, they directly approach their professors for their funding. A lot of professors, they apply for grants year round, and they sometimes accept students directly. So the best idea would be outreaching professors to ask if they have any opening in their lab for research assistants or so on.
So as I mentioned about the research R1 rating, all our labs, university research, we get a lot of funding from the state of New Jersey in student research, making sure we have up-to-date laboratory space for our students and faculty as well. Thus, that's why we got the highest rating for research. Some of our notable faculty members, you can see. So I can open up to Q&A. Let's go through this. So once you're admitted, your point of contact for all immigration-related issues, the Office of Global Initiatives. The career service, we do have a very active career service, one of the largest career fairs on campus in New Jersey as far as universities. We have 2 large career fairs on campus per year. Over 550 employers come to campus during the year. So our students really do well after they graduate. The ones that are prepared for their interviews, resume writing, cover letter writing, our career office is there to help with that.
Awesome.
Outside the classroom, campus life, we tell our students to get very involved, whether it be fraternity, sorority life, academic life, social clubs, cultural clubs. We have a lot of cultural clubs as well. And these are great resume builders, especially if you don't have any work experience. This is good. Take a lead role.
Awesome. Okay, and these are some of our residence halls. You can visit our website to learn more about each one. Sports, if it's just sports, Division 1, as I mentioned, also some club sports. We had over $400 million in campus improvements. The Athletic Center, Life Science Center, and as I mentioned, the Makerspace. Just the area surroundings, I already told you how close we are to Newark International Airport, the performing arts, sporting events, parks, a lot of different things. So as I mentioned, undergrad, you apply to Common App, and graduate online, you can upload all your documents as well. So thank you so much. Hopefully that helped. And yeah, now we can open up for Q&A. Sure, appreciate your presentation. So before we go to the audience questions, I have some basic fundamental questions. So you already covered that students may be moved as a transfer student. Most of the transfer students are domestic, but you have some overseas as well. So for graduate students, you have master's and PhD separate or combined, like MS leading to PhD? Like
no, so we have an MS and a PhD. A lot of our students, or not, but students that decide their ultimate goal is PhD, they'll start in the master's, complete that, and then apply for the PhD. They've already interacted with faculty, so they may get an assistantship, so then they'll go on to the PhD. But you would have to do one and then the other program.
Okay, and for this is STEM, like for OPT, they usually get 1 year, 12 months first.
Right.
And then they have
our STEM degrees, yeah, and our STEM eligible degrees would get OPT the extra 2 years as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I'd like to note also, you go back to transfer. So at the undergrad level, as I mentioned, we do take undergrad transfers from overseas. Now at the grad level, unfortunately, you do have to, if you're transferring, it would be a U.S. university.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's slightly different. And what do the students usually do during summer?
Most of them will do CPT, so get an internship.
Okay, you guys help in CPT, like building.
So we help in the sense we don't give the internships. but we provide all the resources as far as, resume writing. Like I said, we have the largest career fair in the New Jersey schools on campus. So we bring 500 plus employers to campus.
Awesome. So
and our students are prepared. Right. So ultimately, it's a student who interviews and gets the job, but we're bringing this stuff to them.
So the career fair, does it happen during the spring semester?
Spring and fall, twice a year.
Okay. Yeah. So this is actually students' responsibility to appear and do well. Just
exactly. That's what I like to tell students. I mean, outside the classroom, I understand academics is very important, but if you've been admitted to NJIT, we know that you're going to do well. Employers know you're going to do well. You're spending the money. You're coming across the world to do this. You really have to. In the U.S., it's very different than overseas. So I understand culturally that you're always trained to do well academically, but the 4.0 won't get you the job. It really is networking and what you know and what you're going to sell yourself. So you need to be prepared for that. And those are the students I see excel, writing cover letters for each company position they're applying for.
Right.
So it's a lot of work, yes.
Yeah.
Those who do it, get it.
Yeah. Do you see the questions like people I'm displaying in the footer?
Let me stop sharing. Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Can you see what I'm showing in the footer?
1 second, sorry. Yeah, okay. Is there any opportunity for economics? So as I mentioned with our management school, so we have I don't know if that's the undergrad or grad, but we don't have a specific just economics degree. We have a BS in business or MS management where you can concentrate in various areas, but we don't have a specific degree in economics.
Okay, so you have an MBA as well, like standard.
We have an MBA as well, yeah. So finance, things like that, marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we already answered this question. So you have it.
Yeah.
The next question is minimum CGPA criteria for.
Right. So as I mentioned for graduate school programs or even undergrad, I mean, we're looking generally at 3.0 GPA, out of 4.0 scale, so B average.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Same thing, GPA.
Yeah. All right.
So for the architecture school, so so as I mentioned, good question. Most of the funding is for the PhD level. However, the architecture school, he does give out some partial studio assistantships, not full funding maybe, but like partial. So they review that once you apply. You would have to submit an online portfolio as well. So Masters of Architecture could be considered, but as a studio assistantship.
Awesome. All right.
So as I mentioned, for our PhD programs, once again, all funding so you're automatically considered when you apply. Your application then and all the documents would go to the faculty committee. They would review it. Please note, PhD can take weeks or months so our preferred deadline for fall, for example, would be December 15th of the previous year. That being said, students do apply after that and get admitted, but knowing that it can take a long time because the way the funding, as we already heard, the funding depends on the grants and that could come at any time. So sometimes faculty don't know that right away. So you're automatically considered. Yes, you can reach out to faculty, but you would have to apply and all of that. You don't want to be pushy with the faculty members in the sense, do you have money? Do you have funding? That's not the best. You want to show interest in their research first. Don't just ask, do you have funding? That's not a good way of approaching the faculty member, because they may not respond. Show interest in their work and say you are applying. That's how you want to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're almost out of time. Just before we leave, I have a question that is regarding the graduate program. So on an average, what is the average GRE score that you see the students they're taking with funding?
Okay, at the graduate level. So like I said, you mean at the PhD?
Yeah,
right.
PhD.
To be honest, I mean, most of our PhD students they're looking for 160 quant generally.
Okay.
For the quants, and of course verbal 150 or so 310 or so higher. But at the PhD level, when they're looking for assistantships, most of the PhD students have that level already. But the funding really is, to be honest, the faculty are looking for, well, what is their background? What is their research background they've done?
Yeah.
They could have a 4.0.
How eligible your to be in the lab and start producing data.
Right, right. So you could have, I've seen it before. I've seen students with amazing records but don't get a funding. But I've seen it the other way. I've seen low GREs, not very low, but lower than the 160, but have amazing research. So at the PhD level, it's really faculty who really have their way of, making their decisions. So it's best to say aim for the 160s, and then you have the best shots. Awesome. Yeah, and some, to go on that point, if you don't have a master's already, generally they're looking for master's students who are going for PhD. If you don't have a master's, I strongly recommend having a lot of research background to apply directly to a PhD.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Somil. I think our audience have been really benefited. We got a lot of questions, and usually students ask questions later on. So as soon as, I'm not sure if you use Facebook or not. If possible, you can always check the comments or not. If I can just accumulate the question and forward those in an email, you can respond back.
Sure, that would be
That's
fine.
how we usually communicate with the students. So the reason we use Facebook for networking is a lot of students, they feel more comfortable being on Facebook as like a hands-on, readily available information, and you have a much higher engagement rather than going to like a closed room of a webinar, because people require some sort of registrations, which they don't always feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we do it on Facebook, and we usually have a higher engagement. I'd like to thank you again for your time. I believe our students got really helped and benefited from this talk. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much. And everyone take care. Stay safe. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.